Welcome. And it's another episode today. This is the post-election episode of Between Two Teachers. I'm Madeline Cronenberg.
And I'm Consuelo Lara on this day, November 6th episode today.
No,
and
November 6th. As America is still counting votes. Everybody is still, Contra Costa County is still counting votes. It's a national vote counting day. And I want to welcome you as well from where we greet you each week from the ancestral and sacred land of the Chochenyo Karkin Ohlone people. And we honor them and who they were and who they are as we go forward with this very meeting. Just talking about what is happening, we still have our pandemic teacher here. She is with us because we are still very much in the pandemic, even though I guess she never left school. You know, when I think about her, there she is in school with everybody. I don't think they closed them. I don't think that it just doesn't seem to me like they did. Anyway, she's still open. And they're open, the schools are open still in Europe, even though right now Europe is totally shut down. It is locked down, except for the schools and the essential services. And in a couple of countries, you actually have to have, there's only one day a week you're allowed to leave your house. People are assigned days and they're assigned times. I mean, it's a very scary, dangerous time right now with the virus in Europe. Nationally, New York City schools, this is so interesting. The New York City schools have their parents deciding whether or not they're going to go back in, and they have a hybrid model in place because they still have a very low contagion rate, and only 26% of their parents are coming back.
That's their choice, by choice, and that the others are not?
Because people are nervous.
There are people choosing to stay home.
Right. And the other thing I think that makes them choose that is that they're not sure that a school can close. If all of a sudden there's an outbreak, you go from having this, having it set up so that you're going in to have to immediately have to change and go to another whole scheme for your kids. And that's hard to do. So, and it's hard to, I think the stability is the biggest reason that they've decided to stay with for them, that they've decided to stay with distance learning. And the other, that's one thing. Then the other thing that's interesting there is there's now waiting lists to get into the Catholic schools because the Catholic schools are open fully.
They didn't close. Wow.
Well, they did close, but they reopened. And they just reopened full time. They were closed, but then as the pandemic got way under control, because they're under 1%, right? And they were allowed to reopen. They did.
So they have low cases. They don't have a whole lot of cases.
No, New York has very low cases.
Okay.
New York has very low cases. That's why they're able to do what they're able to do. And they've been good at keeping them very low, which means that it can be done. You just have to enforce things. That's what you have to do.
Yep.
So anyway, you can read about New York in here too. California has an interesting thing. California in reopening schools. So of course, in California, the schools that are reopened are the private schools. Even in our district, the private schools are open because they can meet the criteria. They have the money and the funds to do it. There was a letter sent by 7 major superintendents to Tony Thurmond, and it's Sacramento City, Santa Ana Unified, Long Beach, LA, Oakland, San Diego, and Fresno. And those superintendents want a common standard for reopening schools, because right now it's up to the school boards, who are not talking to each other, who may or may not be talking to their counties, who have counties that some counties are leading with great strength and giving lots of support, and some counties are not. And what they wanted is for the state to take over. So what they want is they want common standards for signage and health checks, which ones you're supposed to do, cleaning, ventilation, having the state provide the PPE, having social distancing requirements very specific and clear so that people understand them, staffing, and testing. All of this, they want the state to take some ownership over testing and to provide the testing and provide contact tracing, because that's an entirely different business, right? That certainly school districts have never done before.
It makes so much sense. It does. It really does.
It does, right? And I was really, when I read that, I thought, well, it's very smart. Obviously, this group of superintendents who represent the largest districts in the state, you talk to each other, right? And understand the problems they have. LA was trying to do this whole testing thing themselves. Other ones are trying to do the same thing. But what they really recognized is that it's a Tony Thurmond problem. It's a state problem. The state needs to step in. Yeah. And it would make a lot of sense if there was a common understanding about what they were going to do. So there is a real clear set of requests that they've made. And we'll see what happens, but hopefully the state's going to respond to that. And there are districts, our districts around here, some have opened and some, a number of them have set their dates, and others have no dates set, right? Many of them have date sets or dates set for hubs to open, various types of pods and hubs, and next steps. And what everybody pretty much has, and hopefully West Contra Costa will have it soon, is a dashboard.
Yeah.
Right. That is really clear and tells people, okay, this is where we are, and this is what you can expect. Here's what we know, and that's what all these dashboards say. Here's what we know, and here's when you can check in with us again that we're going to update what we know.
Exactly. Okay.
And then locally, the big news has been our election.
That was big news. That is very big news. I mean, for me, I am so happy spending these 2 years on the school board, which I feel is really dominated by the charter influence, the charter investors. They have big influence and the direction of the board, but the board had no direction. It was just like, insult, destroy, sabotage, stop anything from going forward, criticize. There was nothing they were like the Senate. Nothing was happening and nothing was going forward. And so now those people are gone. I am so grateful to that. And we've got 4 people coming in who are competent, who are knowledgeable, who are intelligent, and who love our children. And those people, our new people coming in, they would not have voted to stop Lake from going forward.
Oh, that was unbelielievable. That was,
oh my God.
I was stunned. I cannot tell you how stunned I was when I heard that.
I know.
And what that was, for anybody who's watching and is not familiar, there was a school that's been on the rebuilding list for years and years and years. When I first got on the school board in 2006, we were having conversations around Lake. I mean, this has been a long time. And now Lake is ready to be rebuilt. And we have passed multiple bonds, and now Lake was next up to be teed up. And it has one more hurdle to get past. But the hurdle pretty much was the people on the board who aren't going to be there in 2 more meetings. So hopefully.
It's incredible to me that a board member said, well, I just don't like flexible furniture, so I'm going to blow. No, he's not a teacher. He's not going to be there. He doesn't have any kids in that district. Doesn't live in that district. the arrogance of that, the entitlement of that, just to throw your power around and stop others. I mean, the children, they did this.
And not to understand that this community has waited such a long time. And they came and pleaded,
They
right? And the
did.
principal was there.
The mayor
And
was there.
the mayor was there.
They could care less. That's how out of touch these board members are from the community. And how much, again, this word keeps coming up, how disrespectful they are. They really disrespect our community, our district.
It was, that was stunning. That was just stunning. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, so the elections, though, gives me so much hope, and these individuals, and I'm really thrilled that those 4 individuals got it. They were pushed through by UTR, the teachers union. These were teachers' choices.
They were the educators' slate, right? The educators' slate.
And
some of whom we've had here on Between Two Teachers, who actually came on Between Two Teachers. 2 of them haven't. We'll have to bring the other. We can bring them all back.
Yes,
but they are wonderful people, every one of them, and it is very exciting that they're going to be the ones who now are going to be taking the next steps, because a lot of the criticisms we've had around the current board will not apply to this new board.
no, this new board is going to have a lot of messes to clean up.
Oh, yes.
And just, they've stymied things, and so they're going to have to clean things up.
Lake is a great example. Lake is a perfect example.
Yeah, so they're going to, I'm sure, going to bring those, all of that. But the thing that gets me the most is not only were these teacher, educator slate candidates, voted in, but who was not? And that is, and I don't mean the individuals, I mean the money. Go Public School Advocates, Kids Can, West Contra Costa, funded by Chamberlain and Nahas. That's no secret. It was on a big board, and it's on all their literature. None of those individuals that he paid to buy seats on the board, none of them, not one of them got on the school board.
Nope.
So that to me says a lot about our community. Our community said, no, you're not going to do that. You are not going to do that.
And the same thing is true in Oakland, where the money was invested in Oakland. And the Oakland team, they had 4 people that I think out of the 4, I think there's one that is still the one race that they're not sure about, but three of them, and these are 3 people in Oakland. There's there were many issues in Oakland, but one of them was closing schools, and they're a school board that was going to close 24 schools because they have been so impacted by charters in Oakland, right? And by all of this money because that's where Go started, was in Oakland.
Yep.
Right. Go Oakland.
Greater Oakland. That's what it's about. That's what
Greater Oakland, but that's where Go came from.
Yeah.
And but they're going to have a great new board. That's going to be a really exciting thing to see how they move forward with their community. And the same thing happened in Los Angeles. They too had the UTLA, also incredibly huge amounts of money put into the UTLA, the LAUSD race for their board members. And there too, I think they only had 2 members. And one of them had a terrible smear campaign, a racist smear campaign, a run against him. But he has succeeded. He will be reelected. And I think the other one, I'm not sure. I think she is not ahead right now, but he definitely is. So there are a lot of success stories there. The only one the one that CTA worked on that we don't know yet is Prop 15.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I was really hoping on that, but we don't know. We don't know yet.
No, it's possible because there's a lot. The fact that it's a statewide measure, there are still votes to count, right? And so we have to wait. And in your race, there are still votes to count.
Yeah, it's too close to call right now. Yeah. But I could not be happier with this, the school board, you know, it just is, it's
No,
just
it's a very good thing.
wonderful. It says so much here, Oakland, Los Angeles. It's saying no, you cannot. What is this? Oakland's not for sale.
Oakland's not for sale.
Why
Billionaires don't let the billionaires buy us.
billionaires can't buy us? Exactly. That was the message, loud and clear. I hope you heard it.
Right.
Not appropriate is not what we want.
Right.
No. And we see how they act when they are, though. These two charter board members for the last 2 years, they are destructive to the school, our district. Destructive. There's not one thing either one of them added or helped this district. I can't think of one thing. So
no.
Yeah, we see clearly what you get when you buy those seats, and that's the community said no. Nope. The larger community
said no.
Even ones with no kids, they said no. So I'm just it's just really,
it was a very good night from that perspective. Another one that I did want to share, because we mentioned it once before, was QQ. And that was a measure, another Oakland measure, but it's going to allow high school students to vote in the school board race. And there are other places that have done that. I mean, San Francisco had it on. I don't think it won. They won in San Francisco. San Francisco's had tried different versions of that. But QQ in Oakland won. So they are going to be able to, we'll see what kinds of changes that makes in the energy and engagement, certainly, of students who now will be able to vote earlier.
Yeah.
Right. And that's an exciting, a really exciting change.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're still, Mr. Biden, it'll be interesting to see, hopefully we all move ahead and start thinking about who he's going to bring in to replace Ms. DeVos.
Bye-bye, Betsy.
Betsy gets to go home to Detroit, wherever it is in Michigan that she's from. Betsy gets to go home.
She's gone. She's gone.
She's gone. With a lot of other people, they're all going to go home.
All right.
And then I just wanted to do time for our shout out. Another person who's going to be moving on, but not until June, is Mr. Duffy.
Yes.
Our superintendent in West Contra Costa, who announced that he will not be seeking another year contract with the school district. And he's done an enormous amount in his 5 years. He really has. And you're talking about somebody who has made changes. He made big changes. And he made them with challenging teams of people to work with.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, when I got on the board, you know, when you're a teacher, you don't know, you're teaching, you know, and the superintendents come and go. You hear a little bit about them, but, you know, I didn't really get to know them until I got on the board. And then the word innovation, the word innovative, really educational innovation, it's like that's what the way he thinks, you could tell. And so there are things that are happening now that we did not have before.
Absolutely.
You know, and he does think in the future, and he does think about innovation, and he does look at research. And this is that he's not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
No.
I'm not. Nobody.
No, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect.
But in that area, I think he is really sharp, and I just really admired that about him. So, you know,
he still has a big future ahead of him. Maybe he's going to be the new Mr. Boss. Who knows? But he could. You know, I mean, it's funny I say that, but when I served on the school board, I served with Tony Thurman.
Oh my goodness.
And look where Tony is today. I sat next to Tony for 4 years.
Oh my goodness. So you never know.
No, you never know.
You never know where people are going to end up.
No, I will just tell you, I'm living proof. You never know. So, and honestly, Mr. Duffy is an incredibly talented leader. He really, truly is. And I know that wherever he goes next, will benefit from they'll benefit from his experiences here, because he's learned a lot about boards that he couldn't possibly have known before he came.
Here's the thing. He was able to accomplish what he accomplished, even though there were board members who created a hostile work environment for
Yes.
him.
Yes.
And he was able to achieve so much, not because of the board, but in spite of the board. There you go, you know. And what I hope for this new board, jumping ahead again,
Yeah.
is they stay for a long time. Because remember what Mr. Cohen from Long Beach, he said one of the things they had was a stable board. People
Right.
who've been there for many, many years.
Right.
I'm hoping these people are young. They could stay there for many, many years.
They
And
are.
that's a big key. Get a stable board, and that helps to move things forward. So these are the, I hope.
And I had 12 years, and the thing about being on it for a long time is you get to see the fruits of the decisions that you've made.
Yes.
Right? And you get to see, you really do, and you get to see when it doesn't work. You can see, well, I thought this would work, and it turned out it didn't, or I thought this was a terrible idea, and it turned out it was a great idea. And those are all the things you learn, but it does take an investment of time to be able to do that and to make you a better board member. So I think you're absolutely right. I wish them great longevity on that.
Yeah. But getting back to Mr. Duffy, I think he showed great leadership for us. And, you know.
And he's going to be with us until the end of the year, until June. And he'll be part of the search. I don't know how they're going to, actually today they're talking about the search for some reason. And he did suggest that they not do that today, since it's another board that's going to do it. But nonetheless.
They don't listen. They have their own agenda. They have their own agenda. And again, they have no respect. They have no respect. So let them do what they want. I'm just glad they're going to be gone.
Well, tell us what you really think, Miss Laura.
How many times I had to bite my tongue? And I always think, now, am I being a good role model for young people? I do tell you, speak your mind, okay, but respect.
Yes, we can respectfully say, well, what we can respectfully say is the voters made a lot of good choices on the school board.
No kidding. That's great. Yes.
They made some good choices.
And
now,
okay,
for our chuckles from Carlos, we're actually here.
Oh, yes.
And he did send us some. What did he send us?
Oh, wait. Before we get to that, I do want to say something about the student trustees.
Yes, good idea.
I need to say this. At a last board meeting, there was a text that said the board or the trustees needed to leave early, and could we have them, before 7:30 or something like that. And we all agreed yes, but it didn't happen. Everybody keeps talking on and on and on, and so they left early, etc. And then another time, well, remember Miss Trustee Dawitt, he had talked about on his last day that he expected to be able to speak, and he always was ready to share something.
He absolutely said that.
And almost never got the opportunity because people who love to talk made the meeting so long and they couldn't stay. Again, disrespect to our young people. And there's people on this board who keep saying, we need students, we need student voice, we need student. There's students right there and you're not listening to them. So that's hypocritical. That's really hypocritical. So that's not really what this is about. You got some other hidden agenda. You truly cared about the student voice, you would have given them that voice.
Right, and it's not a hard thing to do.
It's not.
You just simply put them in your agenda at the top
and
where they belong.
It up at agenda setting and, oh, yeah, let's do that. And
they never did.
And then it doesn't happen. So that's a suggestion to advice to the new board, which I know that they'll do those things. They know how to.
Yes, they will. They don't need us to tell them, but we're
anyway,
suggest it anyway.
Yeah, that was an apology to those student trustees. Okay, so that was what I wanted to share. And do you have the chuckle?
Well, I have the, where is this one?
Oh. He said we should have enough. He said so.
Of course, what we have is a lot of scarecrow, a lot of Halloween jokes.
Halloween ones. Yeah, there was. Well, we could. It's still,
But here's one. This is a good one. All right, I've got it.
okay, go ahead.
This is an election joke, which is what we need. We need a counting joke, but this is a debate joke. Why can't the Pillsbury Doughboy win a debate?
Why can't the Pillsbury Doughboy win a debate? Why?
Because his arguments are half-baked.
Happy.
And
Okay.
with that, we leave you till next week when all the counting should be done.
Yay. All right. Bye, everybody.